Here are 5 reasons why the FX30 might be the better choice over the Blackmagic, depending on the type of creator you are. Let's get into it. Reason number 1, autofocus. Now, this is obviously one of the biggest reasons to be truthful. Sony's autofocus is amazing. Face tracking, eye tracking, subject tracking. You can see an ant having a baby. I mean, this thing tracks a lot of things. And for solo shooters or even YouTubers, autofocus has become very important. While the Blackmagic Pocket, no real continuous autofocus. They got tap to focus, but that's not always going to help you. For a lot of people, pulling focus manually all the time can really be a headache, you know what I mean? Unless you want that cinematic experience and you're a cinematographer, that setup is cool. But for most running gun YouTubers, freelancers, the autofocus is what we need. Reason number 2, compact and so easy to rig. The FX30 is lighter, smaller, and has mounting points already ready to go right on the body. So you don't really need a cage, even though I still tell people you should get one. Not just for protection, but it gives you even more mounting points. Now, the Blackmagic Pocket, look, I love this camera, as you should know by now, but let's keep it 100. The form factor of it has always been a little weird. It's a bit chunky, and usually it needs to be rigged to be totally production ready, depending on your level of production now. I'm not saying you can't just take it out and use it, but if it's a long day, you gotta think about power consumption. There's just other things you gotta think about, and it's just a different experience. They're 2 different cameras, you feel me? So, well, let's go to reason number 3 now. Battery life and media options. The FX30 is gonna last way longer on set. The Blackmagic Pocket, yo, I'm telling you, that thing eats through the internal batteries. You know, there was a time I had to do a project, right? And I drove about an hour away for the project. I left the batteries to the FX30, but I did have a power bank with me. But I also left the USB-C cables, okay? So I went and purchased the USB-C cable from the store and had my power bank and was hoping I'd be okay. It powered the whole thing. It powered it through the USB-C, man. I was so happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that really saved the day. So the fact that you can power this through USB-C is also a big plus. Plus, you get dual SD cards. CF Express A and SD. Meanwhile, with the Blackmagic, you gotta hook up the SSD, have more cables involved. It does have SD also, but you know, it's just a little more of a setup. Reason number 4, hybrid flexibility. The reality is you can do more with this because it's a hybrid camera. You need pictures, this can take pictures. You need great video, obviously, there you go. The Blackmagic Pocket is pretty much just a video camera. It's not meant for taking pictures at all. The Blackmagic Pocket only gives you Blackmagic RAW or ProRes. And them ProRes files are crazy big, all right? Way bigger than any B-RAW, which I was always really amazed by, that the ProRes is way larger than the B-RAW. You would think it would be the other way around, but it's not. But the FX30 gives you different picture profiles, S-Cinetone, S-Log3, and the file size are way smaller. You feel me? So, you know, there you go. Reason number 5, faster workflow. Now, the FX30 records in 10-bit 422. Technically, it's lighter on storage and easier to deal with. And like I said, because of all the picture profiles, you can easily work with something. If you don't want to be a heavy on the color grading, you don't have to. You can do it, expose it correctly, and just give your client the footage. Meanwhile, the Blackmagic Pocket, it's not the same. The Pocket has, like I said, B-RAW and ProRes. Either way you choose it, you got to kind of go through a little bit of some steps to get the best out of it. And it's recording at 12-bit in B-RAW, you know what I mean? So you're getting even more storage space. It's just not the same fast turnaround, you know? But again, it's also subjective to a degree, depending on what you need and what you're looking to get out of each camera. You know, sometimes, you know, the Blackmagic is still fine. You know, I'm a little split here because I love both of these cameras. You feel me? I'm trying to be unbiased, but it's hard for me because I really love both of these cameras. But let me stick to what the theme is. Because as we know, these are just tools. Cameras are just tools at the end of the day. I have all 3 of them and I love all 3. I got Let me explain that. I got the Sony a7 IV, the FX30, and the Blackmagic 4K, okay? I love them all, and I use them based off what I need for that day or for that project, okay? But it is different, you know? The Blackmagic is more of a cinema experience. The FX30 isn't, you know? You can do cinematic things with it, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that it's just different ways of handling things, shooting. It's just different, you know. If you're a fast running gun type of shooter, you need to get in and out. You need to depend on autofocus very quickly, and then this is it for you. If you want that more cinematic experience of manual focus and picking out those types of lenses and vintage lenses and all of this stuff, then, you know, your work, your color grading, all of that stuff is different. You feel me? Even though I get it, people saying they got LiDAR. I get they got LiDAR. You can add LiDAR, but that just makes things even more clunkier, even more bigger. And the reality is, as time goes on, people want things to be simpler, smaller, and easy. You know what I'm saying? So it's all based off you, really. And whatever you feel is what you need, you know? But like I said, I love them all, you know? They're all tools. So pick the one you need and then use it. That's pretty much what it is. You feel me? Now, I'm sure a lot of people, you might have your other reasons why you think one is better than the other or whatever it is. Let me hear about them. Let me hear about that too. Which one would you go with? If you had to do an FX30 or the Blackmagic Pocket, which one would you choose? You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment, let me know, you know, or whatever extras I didn't mention, let me know. Hit them up, you know, let me know what you feel is better or not better. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I still think it's pretty dope, but I love my Blackmagic too, so I'm not getting rid of any of these. These is just me, you know, letting you know. You know what I'm saying? I've had people who purchase the Blackmagic because that's what I have, and then a few months later return it or just can't get the right image out of it because they just don't want to do that. But I told them, I said, if you're this type of shooter, you shouldn't get that Blackmagic camera, all right? If you're a running gun type of shooter, if you're not really into the real deep cinematography and manual focusing and making sure, just get this. You know what I mean? But if you do have the patience a little bit to learn and you want that experience, the Blackmagic Pocket is an amazing camera. Look, that's what it is. That's my thoughts. Hopefully that helped you out, all right? So if you got any comments or questions, make sure to ask. I love answering, you know, and communicating with y'all. Other than that, man, hey, I'll have some links in the description below. If you use them, it helps the channel out. No extra cost to you. So I would appreciate that as well. And remember, if you need help with video content or need one-on-one coaching, make sure to reach out to me at WeShootFilms.com. Subscribe, hit the bell on the side so you get notified on time. And like I always say, it is what it is. I'm out, y'all.